So the world is getting more and more automated, and automation has historically basically gotten rid of a lot of jobs that were available before automation. Back in the Industrial Revolution, when these machines started coming up, all of this labor, all of these people that had jobs in farming, in making stuff, pretty much was replaced by machinery with people working these machines. And interesting enough, it got completely taken over by machines. And what happened at the time was people that were craftsmen, people say they were a tailor, say they were good with fabric and they made clothing, right? Machines would do it, and it got rid of all of those jobs. So in the future, basically, when automation is going on the way to become more and more and more, automation is becoming like, the thing that is just increasing in efficiency and power. And the more automation we have, the fewer jobs we actually have. Right now, the jobs that there are basically all working with automation. Either you're working with computers, or you're making computers, or you're like operating some kind of complicated machinery for whatever purpose. So that's pretty much a lot of the jobs now, is operating those machines that do the job for you. But in the future, with automation and artificial intelligence, what's going to happen to the jobs is that at some point, and not like that far into the future, but at some point, machines are going to be able to do everything. There will be no reason for people to do anything, any jobs, because computers, machines will just fully do all the work for you. And that's like the end, that's like the last stage of the Industrial Revolution, where, from the beginning of machines, from the first machine, it was just people use them because, they do the work faster, they do it better, they do it for them. It ends up becoming less work for people, so that's a good thing. But now that we have like money for work, there's an incentive to work. So where before work was not a good thing, back before money, where it's like if they could work less, that would be better. But now with money, actually working more is better, isn't it? Like working more makes you more money. So working more is better, but machines are gonna do all the work for us. So we're gonna be working less. Okay, so what's gonna happen? Work is not gonna be a way to make money. There will still be jobs, I believe, that computers and machinery cannot do. And that's maybe making art and designing, making things, making handmade things, making artistic art things. Like, for example, you can have a machine making tables, right? And it can make a beautiful, beautiful table. But things that are handmade will have a market, and it'll sell because it's handmade. It'll be harder to do, but handmade things will always be here because people want something made by somebody else rather than the machine. Even if the machine can do it better, even if the machine can make a really cool table, sometimes, someone wants to buy a handmade table or a hand-drawn picture or a hand-snapped photograph or something like that. So certain things, it's not going to be automated, but basically machines are going to make food. So there'll be no reason to actually make food. And the thing is that while there'll still be money, I think there'll always be money. The things that we use money for will be different. For example, say we use money now to buy food. Okay, well, that's because people make food and we have to pay them, right? Now, once machines start making food completely, like no one has to do anything to make food, it's automated, completely automated. Food is grown, it's harvested, it's made completely 100% with machines, AI, artificial intelligence, robots, computers, and whatever future technology that we have. Then like basically, well, even though we're not paying for food, food becomes free, kind of. I mean, you might think, well, who's gonna who's gonna control the machines that are making the food? Who's gonna run those machines? Well, computers will run those machines. Other machines will run those machines. You have a machine making the food, and you have a machine running the food. It'll be automated, like the self-driving car. At one point it was impossible, but now that there is a self-driving car, there's no reason for drivers, is there? So what's going to happen with cab drivers, bus drivers, train drivers? Like, everything will be automated. Like, bus drivers will be self-running, buses will be self-running, trains will be self-running. And once it's to a point where it's like self-running with no problems, it doesn't come into glitches and whatever, which will inevitably happen. Basically, there's, the train runs itself, funds itself. So, so getting from place to place is basically free because you don't have to pay anybody. The machine does the 100% of the work. So where there's no one to pay, that doesn't cost anything. So that's the thing, So food is free because it doesn't cost anything to make it. The machine makes it 100% by itself, right? Say like where you live in your building, the maintenance is free because robots and computers do the whole maintenance. I mean, the robot sweeps the floor, the robot repaints the walls and everything. So everything is 100% automated, right? So everything becomes more or less free. Like, you're not gonna pay a machine to do work, right? If it does it 100% free, like if there's a machine that basically cleans everything, cleans your yard, cleans your house, cleans your building, cleans outside, a machine that always makes a new road, machines that make food that you don't have to operate. So roads become, all of these things, once something is 100% automated, yes, there's no reason for a person to do it. So there's no reason for a job in that field. But there's also no reason to pay for anything in that field. So it's free. Once food is 100% automated, grown, automated, maybe fabricated, who knows about what kind of food we're going to eat in the future. Some of it will probably be grown and some of it will probably be like manufactured and fabricated. And who knows, it might be just as healthy or better than the grown food, right? We're always going to want grown food. We're always going to want to like grow a little food in our backyard by ourselves, but that's just because that's a hobby, that's art, So food will be free. Like, living somewhere, basically, because machines will create the houses, create the buildings, clean and take care of the buildings, and always do all the maintenance, there's really no one to pay. Like, who are you going to really pay? And that's going to stay around until there's really no room on the planet to live. But we're not going to go that far into the future, because at some point there's going to be really no room on the planet to live, and we'll have to live over where the oceans are and whatever. We're going to figure that out. But we're not going to have to pay any maintenance for a maintenance person to clean our building. We're not going to have to pay the grocer for food, because food will not only be, it'll be manufactured, and probably manufactured like inside our house, right? Or if it's grown food and you can't do it inside your house, it'll probably be like, we'll probably have a synthetic food machine that will create food that we can eat and that's healthy and that's actually tasty. And then we might actually not even worry about growing food at all. Because once you're born into a world where all food is manufactured by like something sort of like the size of a microwave oven, it's a little machine that kind of makes food, right? It creates it, whatever it is. Like, now they're having these little 3D printers that print food. So in the future, food fabrication, they'll have a machine for it. So you won't even have to leave your house to get food, because you'll always have food, right? You'll be able to like create water, like machines will be able to like just make water from nothing, from like vapor or whatever, from the air. Electricity will probably be harvested directly from any light source, from anything. So you won't really have to, and any electricity that's being or any kind of power generation that you have to have will be automated. So you don't have to pay, for the lights. You don't have to pay for anything, because basically what you're paying for is it's the thing, and it's also the people that make the thing. So once it's the robot making the thing, that thing becomes basically free because you don't have to pay the robot. So now that everything becomes free, right? At the same time, that's what it is. So people are like, oh, there's going to be no jobs. There's going to be no jobs because machines are going to make everything, run everything. But there's also be no price to pay for the things you require to live. You won't have to pay for food. You won't have to pay for maintenance, for like energy. Like right now we have electricity. In the future, we might have a different kind of energy, but generally, for electricity, for energy to power everything in your house, there won't be any reason to pay anyone. Like the roads will just make themselves. There'll be machines wherever you go working, all of them, and there will just be no people working. So the only thing you can do, but money will still be around. There's just no way people are going to get rid of money. It's just that you won't need to have money to pay for necessities. And that's the thing. So jobs that are necessary are not going to be there, but jobs that are kind of like luxury will be there, definitely. There'll be artists making art, and they'll definitely sell it for money. In fact, a lot more people are going to be making art, making handmade things, handmade pottery. Even though a machine can make a pot, people like the fact that the pottery's handmade. They'll like the fact that their table is handmade. That stuff that's made, like handmade and designs and handmade, even though like computers can design stuff, AI can figure out really cool designs and stuff. You're not going to have to, hire a designer to design for you. You could probably like have a computer do it, right? But things that are made, music, you're not going to want to listen to like, computer music all the time, computer written songs. So books, writing, anything that has to be made by a person. And it's not labor. Labor does not have to be done by a person. Labor can be done by a machine. But certain things, a book, writing, that has to be done by a person. Even if computers are smart enough in the future to make books, to write stories or whatever it is, maybe a computer can do it. Maybe AI, artificial intelligence, can figure out how to write a story. But it's not going to be this. It might be a story, but there'll always be that story written by people. The story, poetry, music, art, these things are, you're going to want people, and competitive sports. I mean, it's always going to require people. Competitive sports. There's just no way, like maybe there'll be like a competition where it's man against machine. Like a robot basketball player against a person basketball player. Maybe the robot's going to win all the time because the AI is you put AI and you put like AI football game, and like you get a team of like robots with artificial intelligence. They're going to be really, really hard to beat. That probably will be like really, really hard to beat because they'll just be able to think faster, do things faster, whatever it is. You're not, so, but people against people, competitive sports, will be around. Teachers will be around. Teachers will not be replaced by computers. It'll be replaced by the computers, but never completely replaced by machines, because maybe a machine could teach you something or compile a bunch of information about something, but you're gonna want to learn from a person. So the things that we want to do with people are going to be there. For example, the bartender. There's going to be no reason for someone to actually mix the drinks and make drinks, but maybe we want an actual bartender. Maybe we want to buy drinks from a person. Maybe we want a chef to make our food, rather than the machine, even though the machine can make better food. But we're talking about right now. In the future, when there's this competition with machines making food, the kids that are going to be born are just going to be used to, computers, machines making food and stuff. And that's the thing. But handmade stuff will always be there. A person making food will always be there, but it'll be under heavy competition with the machine making food. Probably most of the food people are going to eat in the future are going to be made by machines, but the things that are handmade, are always going to be there. Like whatever is handmade, handwritten stories, somebody making food, somebody making food is always going to be there. People are going to make food for fun, right? People are going to make things for fun. And that's the thing. So things will be like more motivated by fun rather than they have to do it. Because you're going to have that machine being able to do it. It doesn't mean that no one's going to do it. It just means the machine's going to do it. So people are going to do it when it's fun. It's like if people are going to make food for themselves and make food for their family because they enjoy it. They can always have the computer do it. They can always have the machine do it, but they're going to enjoy it. Maybe someone wants to clean their own house without having a robot do it. Maybe somebody wants to make stuff. Make things that also machines can do. And then we have this now. We have machines making stuff like pottery. Say a machine makes a pot and it's maybe $10 at a store, right? And you have a handmade pot, and now this is $500 at an art gallery. So there's a huge, huge difference. But as far as I could tell now, money will not go to necessities. It will go to luxuries. And that's the thing. And probably people can live with limited money in the future because everything will be automated. So you won't really have to pay anyone to eat, pay anyone for maintenance and upkeep of your building or your house, and won't have to even pay anyone to build your building or your house because it'll just be automated. It'll just be automated. So all of these necessities, until we run out of space to live, which is a totally different thing, all of these necessities will be free. So there'll be no job, but also there'll be no cost to it. Okay? So that's the thing. And it won't be like no job, because it'll just be competition with automation. There'll still be people wanting to build other people's houses, but probably like, a person-built house will be a luxury. A person, a chef making food will be a luxury, but it won't be a necessity. And that's the thing. I just think that like computers and robots and machinery will get to a point where they're able to do all of that work that's necessary for us to survive. And they won't have to be worked on. They'll just be there, and they'll do everything that's necessary. And money would probably go to luxuries mainly. You really won't have to spend money for necessities. All your necessities will be automated. But you will probably need to spend money on luxuries. If you want to buy that piece of art or that handmade thing, or you want to buy a book that's written by someone's going to have to get paid for that book, that piece of art, whatever it is. So that's what I think. Like, even though automation will get rid of jobs, it'll just get rid of those necessary jobs, but never those luxury jobs. Those jobs where people pay you not because they need to, but because they want to. So that's my thing that I was thinking about. And if you guys like the video, please let me know what you think, because I know it's a bunch of interesting stuff, whatever. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, and please like and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, so I'll also take care, and definitely let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in another video. Take care.